Okay, good evening and welcome to the Timberlane Regional School Board meeting for Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. I'd like to start off with a moment of silence for our troops that put themselves in harm's way. Okay, if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mrs. Belcher, if you could take roll call. Oh, please.
Brian Boyle.
Here.
Lee Doobie. Kim Farah.
Here.
Sheila Lowe's.
Here.
Sarah Mockamer.
Here.
Sean O'Neill.
Here.
Kristen Savage.
Here.
Sue Sherman.
Here.
Jennifer Silva.
Here.
Also seated with the board this evening are the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Earl Metzler, and Student Representative Kyle Duffy.
Okay. I know that we don't have on this agenda is Mr. Duffy's report. If he wanted to bring us up to date on anything.
I've got nothing to report tonight. Just come to observe, take notes as I do.
Okay. Just wanted to give you the opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to switch the A and B's around that are in our items because I believe number B will take more of our time. So we'll start off on the default budget. As you are all aware, that we have been taking to court over this default budget by Mr. Rob Collins and his attorney. The pleadings were done this Monday, the hearing was done Monday, and the status of that was coming out to see what we were going to do. As Mr. O'Shaughnessy had argued on our point, that it's still very early in the default for this whole budgeting process, and that the board can and does reserve the right to change the default budget up until the printing of the actual ballots. So Mr. Collins had made as part of his pleadings was directly towards the 4 line items that we as a board discussed and approved for the reductions at our last meeting. And those were those reductions, since they were done previously with their respective dollar amounts, we will throw it out on here on the table to say what do we want to do as this. Kim?
Due to this premature legal filing, I think that we don't want to cost our voters any more fees for the district. And I think it's in the best interest of the voters and the board to amend the budget and put that money back in. I am not saying that it was incorrectly taken out. I think that we need to be cognizant of the fact that we're looking at potentially more legal fees on money that will typically not be spent due to the surpluses that we are running in these budgets.
It's been made at the table when we were talking about this last time, was that this money was not going to be spent anyway. So it becomes a moot point. They're going to fight for it to add money to it, that it's going to sit there and be returned back to the voters.
And the last time Mr. Collins took us to court was...
Last year?
No, it was about $20,000, right?
Correct.
I just don't think we should be looking to do that for money that's not going to be spent. That's my feeling.
Prove a point. Jen?
I'm not disagreeing with you. It just, this whole issue of default budgeting, and I hope that they do figure out some legislation that makes this more clear, because the flip side of this is we can be taken to court by the other side who feels that it was put in there too high.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
So I feel very conflicted.
Call Sue, then Brian.
Yeah, I agree with Kim. I don't want to have that legal line continue to skyrocket as it has, and I think we should just follow the attorney's advice that he gave us both in our non-meeting And then in that email, which was probably the clearest email he's ever sent, whether I like it or not, it was clear, and I agree, put the money back in.
Brian?
Yeah, I agree putting the money back in, because obviously I don't, when I look at both numbers, the proposed or the default, they're both more than adequate to fund Timberlane for next year. So there's really, as the superintendent has said, there's really no sense in us fighting over money we're just not gonna spend. I'm a little disheartened as a board member to, after we all go through our training from Hampshire School Board Association, and I thought we pretty much followed everything to the letter of the law. And so now there's going to be money in the default budget. There's an increase of benefits for people who aren't even gonna be here. So we're gonna be raising and appropriating $400,000 spread over the 4 towns that, or whatever, but we didn't generate any of those numbers. So to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth the battle. 'Cause I'd be more concerned from my perspective if I didn't think there was enough money to operate the district and have money that I know that we need for repairs, so to speak. So I think it's in that, both these budgets are pretty close, so I'm not really, I don't see the whole point of it, you know.
Sheila?
I think what I want to make clear to our constituents and to the public who may be watching or may see this later, what this lawsuit basically did was added in $400 and some odd thousand that we are going to be raising and appropriating, taxing the taxpayer on, keeping that money for a year in the account, and probably, most likely, I'm going to say 95% chance, returning that in surplus, because the money will not be used. So that is, in essence, what this lawsuit is doing.
I agree.
But I want to make it clear to the taxpayers that we were trying to avoid that. We didn't want to have to tax them on money that was not going to be used.
And if you know, and again, we did,
Well, and that's assuming that the proposed budget
well,
doesn't pass.
right.
Right.
We're supporting the proposed budget.
And if anything, what's interesting, what we get accused of all the time, this board, I want to say that business managers came in, but this board probably discussed and deliberated the default budget at least a half dozen times during this season. So historically never did, but we every year we get every meeting we get an update and we talk about it. So we're pretty transparent when it comes to
Nobody
what we're
came
doing.
to D&I on it.
But so anyway,
nothing.
so hey, I'm good. So whatever that dollar amount is, because we still have plenty of money to run
So what do we?
every staff member, every program. So we're good.
Well, we made it down to the 72, 174, 779 is what we have is currently, correct? Mm-hmm. And then what we have to do is rewind
to
what
620.
we had reduced last meeting.
Go back to that.
Thanks. So to restore those lines, the amount will go up to 72,620.
No,
No,
Million, 72 million.
Oh, excuse me. 72,620,557 for the default budget. So it should go back to the January 9th default budget amount. With all
Is that
those
right? There wasn't any other changes made between those two?
no, we just
all
changed
2,900 lines.
The 2,900
The
lines.
2,900 lines. Go back. Is everybody in agreement with those numbers? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna seek a motion for that.
I just want to confirm the number so that he has the exact number that you're talking about.
He should have.
I know we should have it, but I don't want there to be a misunderstanding over $1. I think we'll just make sure it's the right number.
I don't think we'd quiver over $1.
Well, I know,
Quote
but
over
we may not.
dollar? Yeah, okay. we're gonna quote over dollar.
Just read off the number that you have so that they have the same number.
Which would be read it again, Jen?
$72,620,557.
which was the default budget that you handed us out on January 9th.
Is that correct? There were no other changes we made that last meeting?
We didn't, the only lines we changed were
No.
the 900 lines,
But
correct?
as you pointed out, Jen, that will be the number for, let's see, for today at 7:13, unless someone
I'm
drops
sure that
another
they
lawsuit tomorrow morning.
Which there very well could be.
Yeah,
I'll make that motion, Sean.
Thank you, Sheila.
Would you articulate your motion, please? Thank you.
I'm making a motion that we add in 458,119 to the default budget for a total of 72,620,557.
Perfect, thank you.
Could I add a little caveat that you might want to add? As of the January 9th, 2020.
As of January 9th, 2020,
Default budget as
default
presented.
budget line item detail, which would be adding in the amounts into the 2,900
I don't think
lines.
that amount is right. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's why I asked. I just want to make sure the number's right.
Well, we have the business administrator here.
yeah,
So
well,
we haven't, put your calculator away, because Jen, we haven't
I'm
come up with
looking
any
at
of these
the
numbers
two.
this year,
Yeah,
so
these are not our numbers.
these are not our
I'm
numbers,
looking at
so.
the two
Get the
that were
business
given us.
administrator
Right.
up here and ask
This
what
was
that
the
number
before
is.
and after.
Where were the minutes from January 9th?
You
That
should
would
have
be a
it right
good
here.
reference.
So, as I understand it, the cuts were
455,778.
240, approximately 245,000 from that 2,900 210 account, $306, $472 from the 220 and 231 object codes, and 125 252 from the retirement account.
445.
For a total of what?
So the total on all of those, just to confirm, so I've got the exact amount is 244,999.5, 306, 472.
Jeff,
Yeah,
could
to-
you do me a favor and just slow down a little bit, please?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm going to strike my motion.
Yeah, I already did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You show them the total there, Jeff.
If you want to restore the amount back to where it was on the 9th, let me
Thank you.
just pull that up for you, because I think that would probably be the best way to.
I have numbers now of 445,778.
Which gets you to that 72.
To restore.
To restore, not the 458,119 that I said previously. So, my new motion is,
Let him say his numbers
Yeah, I
first.
was gonna say.
Let's confirm them
All right.
with him.
Yeah, just a second, let me get the exact out here for you.
should I phone number?
However,
Teacher calculus.
Right.
Set a number.
Teacher-
Updated to reflect the vote.
You got it right there?
Yes, these are the numbers, 29, these are 210, 220, 231,
Well, it
232.
doesn't matter if you revote it tonight.
And I think
because,
We
the
didn't
warrant's
do
already
the
been
Primex
posted.
one, we didn't touch Primex.
It won't matter, and we're gonna end up having to revote it after the
After the
deliberative
lib.
session.
These.
Are we still
Yeah.
waiting on a number?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So your
No, we didn't
your
discuss
number
this.
on that was presented on the night before the changes was 72,620,557.
Okay.
Say it
Say that
again?
one more time, please.
72,
72 620
620,
557.
so we
That's what
had.
That's what you had, yeah.
Number.
That's what I was.
So, the motion, what we were adding back in is 445,778.
78.
yes,
Is that correct?
Correct.
yes. To get to
That was the number that was different, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yes.
It sounded
It is,
different.
yep, she had
sounded
458 the first time. Yeah.
Okay. So, now I'm going to make a motion
Yep, to add.
You want to say where they're going to be added in? Do we
Yeah.
need to go that far, yeah?
for $445,778,000 to be added into the 2,900 lines.
I think you can stop right there. I mean.
Yeah,
we
you
know
can
where-
go
we
through
know where
each
it goes.
individual sheet.
Yeah.
We know where it's
Okay.
going.
Just say
For a
two.
total default budget of $72,620,557
In accordance with the.
in accordance with the January 9th, 2021 default budget line item detail that was received by the board
From the business administrator.
from the business administrator.
2020.
2020.
She was saying
I said
2020,
2021.
Talking this.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
School year.
Sorry, I stand corrected.
Kathy, is that okay?
I have motion to add $445,778 into the 2,900 lines for a total default budget of $72,620,557 in accordance with the January 9th, 2020 budget line detail that was received by the board from the business administrator.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it?
Got it.
You need a second.
Who's the second?
I'll second it.
Second by Kristen. Any further discussion? Not, call for a vote. All those in favor? Unanimous?
So as a matter of procedure, we'll take a bit to update the form, the the MSDS form for resignature, but I can have the signature page here before you leave tonight, if that's what you'd like.
I believe there should be, that should already be posted, isn't it? It's already,
It has been, yeah.
you're not allowed to update those as you correct it. When that day arrives, you post what it is at
What
that
it is.
time, and then you
That's it.
update it like this, because we did this at the town, and I wanted to do that, and DRA said, no, don't do that once you post it, even though there's amendments.
No, they didn't, we didn't, as I think this, same thing might have happened last year, we didn't repost.
That's right.
We simply have the signed form saying this is what it is.
Right.
But we can't, there's a spot that says it was posted on this date, it's already posted.
Yeah.
Did the
So-
board sign the MSDS?
Yeah,
Yeah, it got passed around.
Huh? When? It got passed around?
I get that.
Was it the last meeting?
Last
It
meeting.
was at the meeting after the public
After
hearing, I
the
believe.
public hearing, it was in a folder.
Yeah.
We had to
That
sign
was-
So
so
we
many
should re-sign it,
copies
but
of it.
not repost it.
I would believe that's correct.
I mean,
We can't repost it.
We won't be
what
reposting.
I would recommend if you wanted to do anything, you just take it and add it to there. I mean, it's a time stamped and it's got a date on it. I mean, you could add it to it. It's just that I would have thought that you would have taken, since this is the one that's the current one that's valid, you would replace it, and that they said you don't do that.
Oh, no.
Can't yeah.
No,
I see the difference. There.
Yeah, and much like the budget itself,
Yeah.
if it changes to deliberative, we don't change the posting. The posting
We
is-
still have to sign, so.
We should still sign, because I
we
need to file
sign
that
a
with
form.
the DRA, so.
Okay, one of the things that Mr. O'Shaughnessy had asked me to get is out of tonight's meeting is if we can get the minutes and all of this transcribed and up to him so he can do his motions to the courts. So if you could sync on up with him and what he needs exactly. Probably going to be the minutes for this meeting, even though they're in draft form.
And I would certainly appreciate it if our attorney is going to be in court, that the board is notified so board members can attend moving forward.
Yep, I admit that was my fault. I totally.
Not that we all would have gone, but we
No,
didn't
I
know about
totally-
it.
I didn't know about it. I had people asking if I knew.
Calling me saying, why aren't you in
I
court?
had no
What?
idea.
I had no idea.
I get a lot, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just telling you what it was. I skipped ownership for it. It was my fault. I did that. I try to treat us things during the middle of the day when I have time, and I had done something that caused me to think that I had sent it on out, and therefore I didn't readdress it until somebody asked me about it, and I brought it up. I actually went and dug, found out that I had not forwarded that out, and I totally accept ownership for that. That was my fault. I own it. I screwed up.
Not to pile on, but the court.
Go ahead. I don't mind.
No, the court order came out Tuesday. Did that go out to the board?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Everything that he did after that, I made sure.
I think that's how we found out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
We got that, but we didn't get the other one. Yeah.
So,
But the whiskey, while you're talking, but the court order just didn't direct us what to do.
well, I just,
Email from them.
We did, bottom line is, the court did not direct, I just want to make it clear to people, the court did not direct this action.
No.
I just wanted to be kept
They
up
said,
to
if
date
you,
with what
there you
do.
go. You let us know what you want, let you know. I
Has
want to
given
know
them
what,
some
I
update.
want to know what you guys at Timberlane are doing.
Correct.
Correct.
That's
And
versus,
that's the way it was.
the
We
court
have
did
not
not
been
say,
court-ordered to do
the
any
court
of
did
this.
not say, put this in the budget.
Yeah,
Correct.
that is a
That's
true
all.
Our
statement.
lawyer suggested we do that.
Yeah, that's all. Just want to be,
No, I didn't mean to make people feel like it was in the order.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to the proceedings. My understanding was there was a lot of.
none of us says we
aspects
found
about what you, what
Yeah.
you should or should not do. But
Yeah.
it was not, I don't mean to,
Yeah.
it was not written in the order. The order was very, very brief.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty standard, yeah.
So did you talk to the attorney about the discussion at the court?
To Jim? Yeah, I talked to Jim.
Oh, so he filled you in on what went on in court?
I'm actually the CEO of your school
Yeah,
district.
yeah.
I should know what's going on.
No, I just wondered if that's who you
And I
talked to.
did get the email. I got a copy of the email. You saw me on the copy of the email. I read the same
It
email
was
you read.
copied, yeah. All right, so we're putting this to bed?
All right, anything else on this topic? Move on to the next one. Is Dr. Metzler had asked if he could move forward the renominations for the administrators. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I asked the chair, basically, housekeeping issues or whatever. You were updated, I believe, Brian and Kim updated you at the last meeting about negotiations we passed the date for a collective bargaining agreement, so it's like status quo. So this is a list of administrators that I normally would bring to you in late March or early April, but I'm trying to take care of anything I can in both districts in as timely a way. So there isn't any urgency other than it's status quo. There really isn't much that's going to change here. Now, the only thing that could change here is right now we have a principal's position that's posted, and we're trying to. I reached out to a couple members, the chair, I think, about openings, about how we should handle them, whether we should try to transfer people in or post them. The recommendation was really post them and go through the search process. So we're going through the search process for the Danville principal right now, and then there's other openings, right? And the other openings could happen based on if somebody else were to move into that position internally, or if an external candidate comes in. So we have an opening at the middle school for an assistant principal. I'm trying to do them one at a time.
We have,
Did that confuse anybody? Or
Yes.
everybody?
Yeah.
We have an opening at the middle school that Danville with.
that I was aware of.
Yeah. The opening at Danville is the principal's position. It's through the retirement of Nancy Barcelos. That was never, we had an interim person there, but that position is posted.
Okay.
The interim person doesn't automatically get a position.
No, I understand.
Okay, so we have to go through a
I forgot
screening
we got
process.
that letter.
Okay, Sheila?
I want to call for a non-public.
We're already gonna be going into one after this, so.
Well, I have
I-
questions on this that I'd like a non-public.
Okay. But when is the retirement deadline?
Well, they should have notified us by January 1st to be eligible for the retirement benefit.
They can retire any time, but for retirement incentive, they would have to have done it by January 1st.
You've extended that in the
I was
past.
gonna say, I thought we've had that later than that in the past.
Because you authorized it later in the
You-
past.
you also- and teachers are a little different than administrators in that regard.
Okay, so we shouldn't be getting any more retirement notices.
Possible, but not likely.
Here's the other one.
You just never know. Sometimes people will retire and then ask for special consideration of the board as far as their benefits may go. We've had that in the past. We had an unforeseen family event or
Oh,
a
I'm missing
personal
this
event
guy.
that required that.
Back at Paul's, so they only have two left.
Did you have some?
No, I was just gonna ask for non-public.
All right, we're on the same page.
So I'm going to request that we have a non-public under 91A:3, paragraph 2, section C.
Okay,
Oh, second.
motion made and seconded. Roll call vote?
Mr. Boyle?
Yes.
Dr. Farah?
Yes.
Ms. Lowe's?
Yes.
Mrs. Markham?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Savage?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherman?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Ms. Silva?
Yes.
We're in at 7:27.